I obtained body camera footage in a records request that shows Lori Vallow brought a locked black box with her when she was extradited from Idaho to Arizona, and only she has the combination. These are from Kingman, and I didn't know if this was ever brought to your attention or if this was ever investigated, that the same numbers were being recorded over and over again.
This is the first I'm seeing these documents.
And there's good reason why people want to get inside, get that close-up look at Lori Vallow Daybell in the courtroom. We'll be able to see her demeanor. And of course, this is going to be a moment of truth for her when the judge hands out that sentence. How do you plan to meet all these strategies when you're down more than 500 officers?
We need to be focused.
It was detailed that performing high-quality initial investigation is part of this action plan. Shouldn't this already be happening? Compared to last week, it still looks cleaner here than it was before that deep cleaning. You can even see some of the sidewalk and some of the plots where people were staying and went into shelter space. Are you saying that your client is innocent in this? You said it was a wide net.
I'm saying we're going to look at all the facts and we're going to get to the bottom of this.
There's a 2018 ruling called Martin v. Boise that basically said you can't arrest someone, you can't criminalize homelessness if someone is just sleeping on the streets when cities don't have adequate shelter space. We did find this department order from 2019 listing a maximum indoor temperature at 80 degrees. The people there have said they feel like the city is failing when they see people camping out. How do you respond to that?
At the end of the day, we know we're failing people.
100, 101, and 102, the three hottest temperatures recorded inside cells at Perryville Prison, different than what the state corrections director told us last week.
I have not had a report of any cell hitting the hundreds or feeling like the hundreds.
The temperature logs just obtained by the 12 News I-Team show that cells in the Lumley unit, which does not have air conditioning, only swamp coolers, hit 100 or more on July 17th. A drastic increase from any other day recorded before it in July. July 17th stands out because that's the same day the I-Team first requested any information about the heat at Perryville. The records do not include any date beyond the 17th, prompting more questions about heat relief in the prison. Under your watch, were the inmates safe from the heat?
Yes.
Laura Pyle stepped down from her role as warden this week after the I-Team's reports.
I don't appreciate that I'm being blasted on the news like this was my fault, that the director came and saved Perryville, because that's not the case.
She's talking about the new director, Ryan Thornell, who sat down with us to talk about the heat before visiting Perryville during this heat wave. The temperature checks that you've been receiving, how can the public know that they're accurate?
You know, our staff are professionals, our staff care about their jobs, and our staff care about the wellness of the population. And so to say that what they're doing isn't accurate or not what it's supposed to be, you know, that's just not something that I would entertain.
But multiple inmates and family members told the I-Team that the logs might not be right. Did you ever tell corrections officers or staff members to alter the temperature logs?
That's a negative. Nobody did.
Do you think it was happening anyway?
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, just like he said, I'm going to say the same. I trust my staff.
Inmates also told the I-Team that temperatures were sometimes taken at the vent rather than in the rooms to appear lower.
One of the things that we did find out was that some staff were temping where the air comes out rather than inside the cell.
Which Thornell said is not policy.
Our protocol is not to aim it at the cooling vent or where the cold air is blowing in.
We were on the news several times, and you know, there's always somebody to blame at the end of the day, right?
Why do you think you're the person they blamed?
Because I'm the warden. At the end of the day, as a warden, I'm the one responsible for the facility.
When darkness falls on the canal,
Shout time! Come here, guys! Dinner!
people come out of the shadows.
Vamos para comer!
Eric Sanchez runs the Masa Project of Arizona,
Make sure you guys get some dog food as well.
a volunteer group that offers aid to those experiencing homelessness.
We hand out food, Narcan, water, and free hugs, not drugs.
On this night,
Hello, hello.
it's dinner.
Come and get some food, you guys. It's nice and hot.
We don't want to go to sleep hungry. It's terrible.
No. Have you had to go to sleep hungry a lot of nights?
Yeah.
Isaac says he's been homeless for the past 4 years, staying on the canal here near 23rd Ave, an Indian school.
I keep leaving this place and I come back.
He says he's struggled with drugs and struggled with getting help.
It's just like a big waiting list. Fall through the cracks like me is real hard.
I don't think we're bad people. We just don't have a home to go to.
Lacey says she's been out here since December after losing housing and not having enough money to pay bills.
Not knowing where you're going to sleep at night makes it kind of hard to be planned and ready for what you're supposed to do the next day if you didn't get robbed that night. So it's a lot to watch for out here. But this guy right here is amazing. He does more than just feed us. He really does.
Eric has his own style, armed, open to everyone.
Hey, brother. We got chow in the canal down there on the left.
Always live streaming on social media.
Welcome in, everybody. Viewer discretion is advised anytime we're out here. It's reality.
But his grassroots efforts
How many people would you say come through the line every night?
Here, between 80 and 100.
have become essential.
And just looking at these people, they're they're living out of a shopping cart. They're obviously looking at their fentanyl, and it's a shock, just experiencing this. It's a horrible reality, but something that we have to do and keep them alive. There needs to be more resources at night. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., there's not really much.
Do you see people out here that came from the zone area?
A lot.
For years, the Zone was Phoenix's largest homeless encampment. More than 1,000 people on the streets at its peak. Then, neighbors sued the city for not doing enough to keep the area clean and safe. And a judge ordered the city to close the encampment down. That happened last November, but it didn't mean homelessness just went away in Phoenix. The I-Team analyzed 16 months of data from the city, and after sifting out duplicates, found that calls for encampments, or people needing help with homelessness, went up in the months after the zone was cleared.
Some people have said that people just moved to a different location. The problem just shifted out of the neighborhood. What do you say to those claims?
Well, I definitely think that over the last decade, we have seen a huge increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness in our community. So what they're seeing and feeling is true. We are seeing more people experiencing homelessness.
Rachel Milne with Phoenix's Office of Homeless Solutions.
The city did successfully close all 15 blocks around the campus to camping. We made a commitment that we would offer every individual who was in that area an indoor place to go. Not everyone took us up on that offer. 82% did, but this was a nice alternative.
This being what the city calls its safe outdoor space, a structured campground that can serve as a step forward for someone not yet able or willing to take an indoor shelter bed. It's in downtown Phoenix, like a majority of homeless services, but Phoenix is working to bring on more shelter beds in other parts of the city, like a new 280-bed space planned for 71st Ave in Van Buren.
We could use more, I'll tell you that. Anytime we open up a new site, it gets filled up very quickly because there are just more people in need of shelter than we have space available.
Back out on the canal,
You're good. We got you.
efforts are making a dent.
I think it's getting better. I think more people are taking up to the treatment.
Eric still streaming as they get ready to move to a second spot.
Living like this is addicting.
He thinks the more visible the problem, the less likely people will get lost in the shadows.
When I was going 40, it was way faster than I was.
Because I remember thinking the guy was going way too fast to stop in time.
In your opinion, should he have been able to see the pedestrians?
If he was driving at a normal speed, yes.
Witnesses seeing what the driver said he didn't.
All I see is just a shopping cart go up.
Two people crossing 32nd Street on Yale, about a quarter-mile south of Thomas Road.
But you didn't see them prior to the shopping cart, right?
No, I was just going with the speed of traffic. I didn't even know where they came out of.
The police report shows the driver of the black truck struck and killed Dorothy Dale Chambers and her boyfriend Joseph Gutierrez after dark on April 26, 2022. The pair reportedly lived unsheltered at nearby Perry Park.
We did a welfare check every week, and my niece went to go check on her, and that's how we found out she had been killed, and she was laying in the morgue for 8 days.
Dorothy's sister, Beatrice X. Johnson, said Dorothy chose to stay at the park.
Well, my sister was not a throwaway, neither was Joseph, neither are those people who are in the park. They are human beings.
But her family never anticipated she'd be killed in the road next to it.
We know that my sister did not do nothing wrong. She was just crossing the street.
This intersection at Yale and 32nd Street technically is a crosswalk. There's paint on the road, but when we went by in early August, we saw one sign on the ground and another that appeared to be blocked by leaves. There weren't any lights, and when someone tried to cross during rush hour, cars didn't stop.
We're demanding that they fix that. We're demanding that they make that area better.
The I-Team examined ADOT data from 2018 to 2020, finding dozens of car crashes each year in the 5 blocks by Perry Park. That includes crashes with other vehicles or crashes with pedestrians. Data isn't available yet for wrecks from 2021 or 2022, when more people experiencing homelessness started staying by the park, the busy street, a problem people living in the neighborhood pointed out, and something Phoenix City Council member Carlos Garcia even acknowledged when we toured the park with him in June to talk about homelessness.
We had a shelter person unfortunately die last month who was hit by a car right here.
The city's known since at least May 2020, before Dorothy and Joseph died, that 32nd Street between McDowell and Thomas Roads is considered a high-density crash zone. In December 2020, Phoenix put out a call for bids to work on 4 different crosswalk projects across the city, including the intersection at Yale and 32nd Street. City Council approved a contractor to do the work in April 2021, and all 4 signal projects were supposed to be completed by the end of May 2022. But that didn't happen. At the end of July 2022, the contractor requested an extension into September, blaming supply chain issues. The city signed off on the extension, but it's not clear when the work will be done. As of the last day in August, 3 of the 4 projects don't appear to be operational.
I just talked to her and she said, "I love you, little sis."
Families like Beatrice's, mourning lives lost in an instant, while change is in slow motion.
We don't want this to happen to any other family.